Yeah, I think, we're here in a stretch where playing a lot of games in a few days, but it's an exciting time, going Saturday, Sunday, and then playing last night, and then a day off today, and with another series Friday, Saturday. It's a challenge that our women are rising to. Had a little slip up last weekend, but kind of rebound and got a win. And I thought we played well last night as well. And it kind of got away from us at the end in the last 11 minutes there, and but we were right there, and we were creating chances, and we had some chances to be able to tie that game up. And but just gave, once, if you give a team like them, number 2 in the country right now, and you just give them too much opportunities, that they're going to score, and I thought that's what happened in the third period. But there was a lot of positives for us that we liked, and we like where our game's at, and thought our ladies responded well. I thought we had jump, going into that game last night. So looking forward to Friday's game.
Coach, you talk about, a close game late. You talk about taking a top team like Ohio State. It was a 10-minute mark of the third period. It's a 1-goal hockey game. I mean, a lot of little victories, I'd imagine, in that game for your squad. What's the message look like going into Minnesota this weekend?
Well, taking those little victories and making them into the big victory, and it's, every team learns lessons throughout a year. Doesn't matter whether you're undefeated or haven't won a game, like every team's learning lessons. And I think, we've learned some tough lessons, in the past couple of weeks, with that tie against Wisconsin, which I thought we played extremely well. And then obviously, our Saturday against St. Thomas and those penalties in the third period, and then going into the Sunday in terms of how to close that out. And then going into Tuesday, just in terms of being down one, and just, our D zone details got a little bit loose in the third period, and they capitalized on that. But just learning how to keep the foot on the gas pedal, so to speak, and how to keep pushing forward in that third, and in that third period to get that tying goal. So ultimately we didn't get that, but again, happy with how our ladies played, and we need to take a lot of those things into Friday. It's because our team, we play better, we have more success when we're aggressive in our gaps, and obviously protecting the middle of the ice and all that as we're doing that. But we get a lot of chances off of our forecheck. That's the majority of our chances came from yesterday. It was off the forecheck and neutral zone turnovers. So, we need to capitalize on those, but we need to reduce a lot of those chances against in the D zone. So that'll be critical this weekend, especially Friday going against Gophers.
Coach, taking a look at the 3-game stretch. I mean, this is going to be the fourth game in a potential 5 out of 7 days, something like that. What have you liked about your special teams play so far? Penalty kill, power play, dating back even to St. Thomas, and then Ohio State. Penalty kill looked good against Ohio State, I thought.
Yeah, obviously the less the penalty kill you can be in, the better, So again, learned that lesson last Saturday against St. Thomas, where it was doing very well, and then again it got away from us in the third period. But our penalty kill, it's been good, and we did like it in the penalty kill we had against Ohio State. They have the top power play unit in percentage in the country. So we were happy with that. That special teams this time of year is critical. It's absolutely critical. One, we need to be taking less penalties, which I thought we did on Sunday and then Tuesday, and that'll continue, for sure. So we need to take less penalties, and our penalty kill needs to be up to par. Our power play, it's something that, we've been working on and trying to pay attention to, and we weren't able to establish enough zone time with it. Yesterday we had the one power play, and so we just weren't able to establish that. So that's something we need to do on a more consistent basis. And that starts with your entries. So that's something that'll be, again, critical going into Friday.
Coach, you talk about the Golden Gophers. I mean, they've got, just start on the back end, they've got 3 options they can play in goal here. What's the key for your team in terms of getting behind any one of these goaltenders they put out in front of you this weekend?
It doesn't matter. We have options to go in net as well. So I don't care how many options they have. They can only put one of them in. So whoever they put in, we're going to be going right at them, So, and we have equally great options. So, so we're confident in that area. We think we have the best goaltender duo in the, if not the country, but definitely within our league, we're really confident in our goaltending duo and those that play minutes. So, we're excited for that challenge. And but yeah, they can only put one in, so put one in and let's go.
Coach Ritter's it's a tough barn to play in, especially this late in the season with the Gophers looking at some high aspirations. What's the message to your team? What does a win look like for your squad playing at Ritter this weekend?
Well, first off, Friday, Herb Brooks is a hard place to play in. So I'm not thinking about Ritter. I'm thinking about how Herb Brooks is a hard place to play in. We have a good record at home, and our team plays very well in this sheet. So first they got to get through the Herb Brooks. So I'm worried about Saturday after they get through Friday.
You got anything, Josh?
Yeah, I do.
Go for it.
Hey, Coach, Josh Wheeler, KBSC. I just wanted to ask, what are your thoughts on the blue line this weekend? It seemed like they did pretty well throughout both games against Ohio State.
Sorry, both games.
Sorry, yeah. The three game slate this past week. Yes.
Gotcha. No, I know what you meant. I just got to get to that's all. It's all good. When you lose your team captain and a defender who's played over 100 games in her career, when you lose her on Saturday, and she's just an absolute warrior for us back there in Kenzie Wiley. When you lose her early in the game on Saturday, I don't care what team you are. That's one, it's emotional for our players, but also two, that's a lot of minutes and a lot of special team minutes. She plays PK, she plays power play, and she logs some significant minutes 5-on-5. So, to replace that, it has to be by committee, and we have a lot of youngins back there that are learning and really coming along. We're really happy with their development and we believe in them. And we also believe in the seniors that we have in the blue line as well, that are helping really carry that load. And so for that blue line, it's sometimes learning by fire, and especially when the youngins, and the only way to learn sometimes is by being in those situations, and we were in those situations this past weekend and in those situations again on last night. So they're learning and they're really improving. And you can go down the list, but Grace Wolf, and Dale Ross are two that immediately come to mind. And Devin Millwater, I thought had a great game, yesterday in terms of she was blocking shots and getting into spaces. So there's some young players that are really learning through experience. So that's going to be critical. Going into Friday and playing against another top team, which is a challenge we want.
And then the only other question I really have is Minnesota, obviously really good offense, but they also have a really good defense. Going into this weekend, kind of what is your, strategy as far as whether it's throwing pucks on net or just trying to bring pucks into the zone and just creating a more aggressive offensive approach to a really tight-knit defensive core for Minnesota? I guess what's the game plan going into this weekend?
Make them play defense. And sometimes that's not throwing just pucks at the net blindly, because then that fuels into their transition game, where they can get it and they have a lot of speed and their wingers really push high in the zone and they really try and lengthen the game out, so you have to counteract that by having a possession mindset, and if the opportunity is there to take a shot, yeah, take it, but just not throwing it blindly and making sure that we're really making them defend down low in their zone below the tops of the circles is critical. And then using our blue line and going in the low to high, because again, they're a team that you can catch them on that way if you make them play defense down low. And high flying teams like that sometimes don't like to play D, because they're used to having the puck. So for us, that's going to be key. And we've been talking about that for the past month, at least, is just that possession style and just increasing our zone time, because that's something that, we think is definitely going to contribute to our offense.
Last one for me here, Coach. It's easy to talk about 5 games in 7 days ahead of St. Thomas before anything has happened. But now we're 3 games into the 5-game stretch, and what's the time management been like? What's the energy been like? I mean, now that we're in the middle of it, we're in the thick of it. A lot of people say it was like the pod in Omaha last year for the men's team. What's it been like for you and for the women?
Oh, it's great. It's fun. It's awesome. And this time of year, you're sick of practicing. I think everybody just wants to play games. So it worked out great, and I think sometimes people make too much of a big deal about, you're going to be tired. It's like, no, these players are fit. They spend a lot of time in the weight room behind the scenes, and you just have to manage recovery. You just have to be smart with recovery and use it as a tool, not using it, and even though you may not feel as though you need it, just focusing on recovery. And in between those games and utilizing the ice wisely. And that's what we've been doing. And so, it's our players, they'll be ready to go. We had a lot of jump going into yesterday, and, we had a light day on Monday, and we didn't even practice as a team. Just it was optional ice if they wanted to. A few went out there, but not a lot. And we saw a lot of jump last night. So I think that's more of a mindset. It's more of a mindset, and just knowing that, yeah, you've trained for this. They've trained for this. They've trained for the ability to do this, and it's a great prep for us going into the end of the season.
That's all I got, Thomas.
All right, Steve, we did have a couple more in the mailbag for you. I know that we talked about this. I think it was Sunday that you and I spoke about this with Kenzie Wiley going down on Saturday. Your captain's out going into Sunday. You have Yanina Newland, who wears the A typically, out in Beijing right now at the Olympics. So you end up calling up Tatum Geyer as the acting captain. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about what that conversation with Tatum was like, what that selection process was like for you as a coaching staff, and how you felt she responded wearing the A on Tuesday for the first time with it on her jersey?
Well, first off, the conversation was short and sweet. She's a leader, no matter whether there's a letter on her jersey or not. So it was easy transition, and even talking to, our team captains, they're like, well, yeah, she's a leader anyways, so whether or not there's a letter on her jersey doesn't matter to that individual that you speak with Tatum. And, she leads by example. She's been a leader here, and she's vocal, but then she also just leads with her commitment in the weight room and what she does off ice, but also on ice, and how she supports her teammates. So it was a short, brief conversation. We didn't make a big deal of it because she is a leader, and, and yes, it's a symbolic gesture, having something on your jersey. It's visual to the public as well, but to everybody inside that locker room, it's no surprise. So, and for her, again, she does it anyways. So for her, she had a smile, because again, it's a symbolic gesture and it's recognition of that, and it's special for anybody. So, she just big smile and little fist bump, and then it was on to business as usual. So,
Steve, I know we had quite a bit of activity on that third line, especially on Sunday. Allison Green picked up her first collegiate goal. Nicole Ness had a goal as well, but I think she was on the top line at that point when she scored. Talk to me about what you're seeing from that group. I know we saw quite a bit of the freshmen last year getting the opportunity on that third line, and just the growth that you've seen from this year's sophomore class going into year two.
It's great. Yeah, you mentioned it, that they're players that are really finding their way within the lineup, and it's a great opportunity for some players, when you have a couple of your top forwards out, for gone to the Olympics, and it's an opportunity. We need players to step up into those roles. And one thing I said back at the beginning of the year, we believe that we do have depth, in terms of players that can contribute, and use their strengths to benefit the team. And you're starting to see that, and you need that when you have 11 forwards, and they're kind of sometimes, the few of them are like a utility knife. They're just kind of going in different spots and different roles, like consistently. And, Allie Cornelius is one, and Mackenzie Bourgeois is another one. She, one shift she's in center, another time she's on wing, and sometimes left, sometimes right, sometimes mid shift. It's changing around. And same thing with Greenie. Greenie got, when she got her goal, she's up on wing, and she's been playing center. So those players, they're becoming really resilient in terms of responding. It's like, okay, that's what the team needs. All right, that's what the team needs, and they respond very well. And same thing with Nicole Ness, and with her, and changing lines there, and on Sunday specifically. And she's a player that responds well to that, and she did, so so that's what you need this time of year. You need players stepping up, and especially in the year where there's a couple players not here, but it's a great opportunity for those individuals. And again, we're happy with how they're fitting into that role.
All right, Steve, one last one for you from our side. I know it kind of seems weird talking about it now at the beginning of February, but in reality, we have them knocking down the door at the end of the month with the postseason play in the WCHA. You've got this weekend against Minnesota, and then next week 3 straight against UMD on Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and 1 week later you're in the quarterfinals. With those just 2 weeks away, what are some of the things that the coaching staff is looking for out of this team to just kind of prepare for that postseason play? Is that in the back of your minds now, or is that something that you're even focusing on in terms of getting ready?
you're always looking ahead as a staff. You're always kind of looking down the road, but you always bring back to the present in terms of Friday, for us, that's Friday, but yeah, you're always looking ahead. And, I think every coach is doing that, but again, you have to focus on what are we doing now, because that's what's important. So for us, that's, today, well, what are we doing now? Today was an off day. So they're recovering and they're catching up on their schoolwork, their homework, and and whatever that may be. And but they're taking time to do that. And then tomorrow will be a short, very focused practice. And but for us, it's just using these games. These games that's our training. That obviously we're going to win these games, but these games are going to make us so much better. And for when playoffs do come around, we're going to be ready to go.
All right, that's all I have. Anything else from you, Jake and Josh?
I'm good.
Steve, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks,
All right,
Coach.
gentlemen. Thanks, guys. Bye.